the Premier.
I know lots of people in Newtown.
Faced with the unignorable reality of the people sleeping in tents outside in the middle of winter in Martin Place, and given the experts know and the evidence shows that a housing-first approach
I'd like to listen to this question without any interjections from the government.
And given the experts know and the evidence shows that a housing-first approach works, will the Premier commit to providing permanent housing to the people experiencing homelessness in our city?
Order, Minister. Minister. Premier has the call, and only the Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I do thank the member for Newtown for her question, because it gives me an opportunity to exactly articulate what this government has done in relation to that issue. And I appreciate that her constituents want to know the answer to that, as do all of our constituents. First, I can advise the member and this House that with the great support of the Minister for Family and Community Services, FACS has attended the Martin Place site 41 times over several months to offer services and accommodation, and 60 people took up that offer and are now in permanent social housing. Madam Speaker, there is no person in Sydney or New South Wales that needs to sleep in a tent, Madam Speaker. There is support available. Any eligible person who was willing to engage with our frontline workers has been provided emergency and supportive accommodation. FACS staff have been proactive in offering this accommodation. However, some people have chosen not to engage and not to accept the offer, and I need to make that very clear. As a government, Madam Speaker, as a government, we are spending literally hundreds of millions of dollars in addressing what is the scourge of homelessness. And I, for one, accept that homelessness is a big issue, not just in the inner city, but also in our rural and regional communities, Madam Speaker. Again yesterday and again today, FACS housing staff visited that site to help people experiencing homelessness find accommodation, and spoke with people sleeping in those tents that were willing to engage, and I stress willing to engage, some were not. But, Madam Speaker, I will return to this to the specific question in a second, but I do want to stress this government's commitment statewide about what we're doing to address the scourge of homelessness. We support or invest about $1.1 billion every year through a number of programs, and we're able to do that because we have a strong budget position. So just to stress some of the ongoing and new initiatives we've implemented, we've provided $198 million for specialist homelessness services, including critical referral services such as Link to Home. We've provided $12 million to expand the Premier's Youth Initiative to more locations, specifically targeting vulnerable youth, and also $5 million or $20 million over 4 years to provide an additional 120 transitional accommodation dwellings and support packages for rough sleepers. And, Madam Speaker, last month our government announced that up to $10 million in temporary accommodation would be redirected from low-cost hotels and made available.
Is it a point of order? Point of order.
It's a point of order on relevance. I asked, will the Premier commit to providing permanent housing?
I think the Premier's been relevant and is answering your question, member for Newtown.
Madam Speaker, it disturbs me that the member for Newtown may not want to know all the extensive things we're doing in relation to homelessness, including in rural, in fact, in the Northern Rivers region recently, Madam Speaker. In the northern region recently, and I know the members for Lismore, Tweed and Clarence welcome this, but we announced last month a rent choice program, which was specifically again providing subsidies for vulnerable youth and providing rental assistance to those youths. But, Madam Speaker, I say this: it concerns me that people who are sleeping in tents in Martin Place are refusing to get help, refusing to receive help, and I frankly think that is unacceptable. Our staff have been down there 41 times, Madam Speaker, and, Madam Speaker, I call on Clover Moore to get rid of that tent city, Madam Speaker. It should not be there. Anyone who wants to receive help in New South Wales will receive that, and I call on her to act, Madam Speaker, because that is the right thing to do.
Thank you.